Something strange was happening. He gave me his left hand. When I shook his hand. It's a fantastic place, this, the east side of Loch Lomond. I used to come out here a lot as a kid. My dad was a member of a golf club down the road, probably somewhere in that direction where the light is, and used to come out a lot as a kid. I've lived all over the UK in my more adult life until about 8 years ago. I sold a flat in Glasgow. I moved out here to the east side of Loch Lomond, and it's a tremendous inspirational place, and I come walking up here every other day, and every other day it's different, never 2 days the same. And then more just over this shoulder over here, there's Ben Lomond, and it's, you always tell Ben Lomond because of the shoulder, the Ptarmigan Ridge, and it's the most southerly Munro in Scotland, Ben Lomond, and it's still got snow on it, and it'll probably still have snow on it in the summer as well. There's lots of little nooks and crannies all along the loch side, and yeah, I've got a little travel parlour resonator guitar that sometimes I'll just grab that and a coffee and come down and sit in one of the beaches. No, it's a bit cold today, but if it's a nice warm day, or even if it's not warm, you can put on a big jacket, it's fine, it's a beautiful place. Into the hallway, dark and dingy place. When he turned toward me, I didn't recognise his face.
Dave, thanks very much for inviting me over today.
Thanks for coming, man.
It's a beautiful place you live in here. We've had a wee walk up Loch Lomond. You've introduced me to your surrounding scenery, which is gorgeous. Now we're back in your studio. This is where all the magic happens.
I just need some fairy dust in here.
So you've got your kit over here. You tell me a wee bit about the tech you use for your recording.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tend to use the space more as a songwriting space than a recording space, to be honest. Everything, both in here and in the office, it's all Mac based. I've always been a Apple fiend since long before iPhones and iPods and stuff like that. And I suppose I've just grew up with Mac, or didn't grow up with Mac, but grew my computer teeth using Mac stuff, so I've always tended to stick with it. And I tend to use Pro Tools on here, which throws up error messages like this from time to time because I can't speak to the keyboard. So yeah, I'm using Mac based, using Pro Tools as my software of choice. I've got this little Euphonics Surface, which really, you know, to be honest, you can do everything on the screen, but if you've got finger picks on, you're trying to play guitar, sometimes it's easier. It's nice just to get some kind of hands-on, you know, yeah. And everything's kind of reflected on here, and there's a touch screen here, so it's a little bit more tactile, you know, a little bit more hands-on. There's a DigiDesign interface over here, and various other stuff, and some little Genelec 8020 monitors. And as I say, I tend to use this more as a sort of songwriting setup rather than a recording setup. Although there's been songs that have, you know, ended up in albums that I've recorded and mixed in here. So
cool. And the Tiger. The
Tiger is actually a screen cleaning cloth. Okay. But as you can see, I don't really keep my screen that clean. So
did the Tiger know it was going to be a screen at the outset, or is it?
I think my sister-in-law gave me it, and I don't know if it's ever actually been used for its intended purpose. Sometimes if I sneeze, it kind of comes into its own. So
I've noticed there are a couple of guitars up on the wall there. What's the history behind those? That's got a fancy bit at the bottom of it. Yeah. That one. What is that?
Well, this is not a guitar you would probably see me out playing live. But if I'm going to play a solid body electric guitar, this is going to be a Telecaster, and especially with a rosewood fretboard. This is a Fishman triple play, which is a MIDI pickup. So if I'm doing, I mean, as well as the stuff that you would think of if you think about my music, I do a lot of library and production music for some of the big publishing companies, and it can be quite, because I don't play keyboards. I mean, I've got a little keyboard here that is okay for triggering sounds, but because I know the guitar fretboard an awful lot better than I know than a piano keyboard, this is quite a nice way of getting things into Pro Tools quickly. For trying out other arrangements, none of which usually ends up in a final recording. It's usually really just there as part of the writing and arranging process. And if I was to put in a string part using the Hex MIDI pickup, triggering a virtual instrument in Pro Tools. That's not going to be on the final. We'll go into a studio and record something proper, or somebody will come up here and record. We'll record real fiddle or real string section or whatever.
So more like, I don't know, would you say more like a kind of digital notebook? Musical notebook.
It's just trying to save some time, and rather than drag people out and get them into a recording session to do something that's maybe not going to work, I like to just kind of try it all out first, and then if it's something that's got legs, then that may work. So it's almost a way of demoing stuff before going into it hook, line and sinker,
Yeah, and then moving round, we've got some nationals here.
Yeah, there's a Stylo. This is one of my main touring guitars. It's got humbucker pickup here and a Highlander piezo in here and a blend system. Based on a Stylo, but it's kind of customised with all the electronics. National build them all for me, and I like the flat headstock because it makes changing broken strings much quicker. And Res Electric Junior there, which is like a simpler version. The one on the wall is a standard Res Electric, and they've stopped making these now. The National do a guitar called a Revolver, I think it's called, which is very, very similar to that, but it's just a more modern version. This has got a piezo in the resonator in the biscuit, and a P90 pickup. Actually, that's a nice guitar to play with a bottleneck, but the frets are far too skinny for me. They're more sort of 62 Telecaster than 68 Telecaster. But by contrast, the Res Electric Junior, which is a guitar I tour with quite a lot and use for normal tuning, it's got nice big chunky frets, and it doesn't have the piezo, but it's kind of a little bit worse for wear, but I really like this guitar. This is one of my favourite sort of solid body electric guitars.
It looks like it's had quite an interesting life.
Its appearance probably makes it look a lot older, older than it really is. It's not. This is what whiskey and blood kind of tend to corrode things. So, and there's a couple of other nationals that you saw earlier. They're retired from the road, and this is my other main touring national, which is based on a Delphi, and it's got the same treatment as the custom Stylo, a national sort of custom pickup configuration and stuff, and the M2 neck with flat headstock, really just because it makes changing the strings.
What's that? Is that a silver dollar?
This is a silver dollar, and it's quite a recent addition to the guitar. I was playing an unplugged gig in Kirriemuir. There's a little place in Kirriemuir called Bank Street Gallery, and they put on 5 or 6 gigs a year, and I usually every 18 months go up and play a show there. It's completely unplugged. And the last time I played up there, a guy that I used to work with many moons ago when I was in corporate land, a South African guy who I hadn't seen for 20 years, turned up at the show with his wife and gave me this silver dollar just as a wee good luck token.
Wow.
And I liked it, and I thought, I could keep it in the guitar case, but you know what, I'm just going to stick it on the guitar.
It looks
I did.
It looks the dog's bollocks.
And,
really cool.
I'll be upset if it ever falls off and I lose it, but there you go. So that's the story. So, Tony Kerfoot, your silver dollar has brought me lots of luck.
So you mentioned going back 20 years there. Can we go back a wee bit to your history, your playing history, and your influences? Right,
20, 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. Well, I got my first guitar when I was about 18. I was working in a bank, and used to get a Christmas bonus in your December salary, which didn't really amount to very much. We're talking 1980, 1981, and you also got in December an extra day's holiday, which was your Christmas shopping day. And I'd farted about with guitar at school and stuff. She'll be coming round the mountains. Oh, jeez, jingle bells. 20 kids in a room all banging out this out of tune. Oh, mamma mia, And it wasn't exactly engaging for a kid. But of course, by the time I got to 18, I was into listening to music, and I was listening to people like, it started off listening to heavy metal and going through the prog rock thing, and then ended up with Bowie and Lou Reed, and then into Bob Dylan and Neil Young and more acoustic stuff. and that was probably when I thought, I fancy giving this guitar thing a try. So I got one of my dad's old guitars, which was a nylon strung thing, and you know, when you're 18 years old, a nylon strung guitar and you want to play rock and roll,
Not really cutting.
it's just not right. Big flat fretboard and boom. Sounded like somebody had wrapped it in paper. And so I took my Christmas bonus, walked up to Biggers in Sucky Hall Street, and they had a Harmony Sovereign for 48 or 49 quid. So that was my first guitar. And I remember a couple of weeks later, I'd learnt a couple of chords by this time, so I bought a pickup. Woo! Clamped in the sound hole. And then I would started going busking, playing the first 2 lines of Space Oddity on repeat.
Right.
C, E minor, C, E minor. Ground control to major tom. That was all the lyrics I could remember.
Right, and you were busking at that.
Oh yeah, out in Arcari Street, outside the Tron Church, on repeat. I figured I was so crap that nobody was going to hang about and listen. You'd do the same thing for 3 years until I had enough money to go round to the Vicky Bar for a microwave cheeseburger and a couple of pints. I was like thinking shit. I was happy. I did gravitate towards that. The busking thing kind of became a bit more of a fixture by necessity rather than anything else. And I'd go out to Wishaw. I was going out with a lassie in Lanarkshire at the time, and go to Wishaw Market, and then the wee pen behind Cally Road, go busking for a couple of hours on a Saturday morning. Even back then in the mid 80s, you could make about 30 or 40 quid an hour.
That's
that was
amazing,
grand.
isn't it? That was brilliant.
So that got me out of shit.
That's more than I'm on now. Brilliant.
So I went through that, and I left the job in the bank. I was a debt collector in Glasgow for a year or a year and a half. That wasn't much fun, but I probably learnt quite a lot in that time. And then I was always into music, you know, and into but none of my mates played.
Right.
So I developed my own sense of timing.
Right.
You might recognise that. Holds true to this day. And so, and because of the kind of predominance of guitar and blues, and I was listening to early Bob Dylan, and okay, people don't think of Dylan and blues, but I guess the setup of the songs, you know, the formula, what's the word?
Well, you've got the same structure.
Structure's the word.
The same structure as your Americana, folk, blues. It's all kind of loosely intertwined, as it should be. Everything merges into everything else.
It does. And so that you know, I started to recognise that structure. Thanks for reminding me. And I suppose it led to blues and the predominance of guitar and blues. And by that time, I was bumping into the odd person that played a bit. And you know, one of us would sit and play a 12-bar shuffle, and the other would whittle about and talk, and then sort of jam that for a little while. But it wasn't really until I left home and I went to college in Fife, in Arcari, when I was 21, 22, that towards the end I did a lot of busking because I spent my grant on a PA system. So I had to go busking just to survive there. And towards the end of my spell at college, and I spent a year as president of the Students' Association, and I started a band back then. That was my first band.
What were you doing at college?
Communication studies.
Right. Ideal for what you're doing.
So it was kind of back in the mid 80s. You know, you couldn't really do it unless you were a virtuoso or understood music or could read and write music and had hires and all that kind of malarkey. You couldn't. You could go to RSAMD and do something formal, but there was no. It wasn't like now where there's lots of music performance and industry. And I was interested in. I was interested in recording. I bought a little 4-track cassette recorder, a wee Fostex X15, as soon as they came out, because I knew if I wanted to learn about recording, I was just going to have to do it. There was nowhere you could go. You know, you couldn't go and learn about it unless you were, you know, rolling in it and could afford to go to some fancy ass place in America and pay fees and, you know.
Those were great wee devices, though. Well, I had a Tascam. Record 3 tracks, bounce it onto the 4th, 2 tracks, bounce it onto the 3rd. That was great.
Well, I gravitated from the Fostex X15 to a Tascam Porta 2.
That's right, yeah. And
it had an effects loop on it.
Yeah.
Whoa! I get my Wem copycat wired into that old tape echo. Send the divine, eat your fucking heart out.
So that was and then once you left college, once you had that year in the students' union, then you left college. There was a period, I think we talked about, where you were in bands and
yeah,
moved through that.
Well, the band I was in Fife, we split up. I moved to London I got a job doing in-house PR for a company in London. Well, it wasn't for a company, it was for the Institute of Personnel Management, I think it was called. The office was in the middle of Wimbledon Common. It was cool.
All right, with the Wombles.
Yeah, so I was right at home. I was a bit bigger than them, right enough. Wombles are only meant to be about that size, I think. The longest, lankiest womble around. So I did that. I stayed down there for a year and a half, and I did some. I had my Tascam Porta 2 and I had an Atari ST running. I think it was Steinberg Pro 12, and that clunky old MIDI interface. It was a nightmare to get anything working on. And I did some soundtrack work for corporate videos. I had my day job. I managed to wangle getting to do some soundtrack work for a video company in Covent Garden, and I had a blues band down there called Midnight Blues with various celebrities of the time, and gigged a lot, and I managed to make enough. I mean, it was a horribly expensive place to live in the late 80s, early 90s London, and but because I was doing the soundtrack stuff, and because the day job didn't pay very well, it probably just covered the rent in the room I was in. But the soundtrack work and the gigging, and there were lots of gigs, I was able to kind of squirrel away some cash, and then when I got really heart sick of being in London and moved back to Scotland and back to Fife, coincidentally, I got a job at a PR company, and but I'd made enough money to open a wee recording studio in Arcari.
Fantastic. What was that called?
It was called Abracadabra Recording Services, because at that time it was important to have your name beginning near the beginning of the alphabet, so when you were in the yellow pages, you were one of the first, because people looked for a recording, but there were no other recording studios at that time in Fife, so I didn't really have much to worry about.
So watching your live performances, you seem to have a really close relationship with your fans online. I've seen loads of people coming onto these live streams. You stop what you're doing and you greet them by name. You know where they live. You know when the next gig. That sounds a bit ominous. I know where you live, but you know where they're from. And the other thing is, you know the exact date that you're going to be playing at those gigs as well. It's like, hello Johnny, I'll be there on the 20th of April. Looking forward to seeing you, man. But you just do it one after the other. It's just it's really cool to watch you interact with these fans online. It's a testament to yourself that you spend the time at the gigs, getting to know these people and keeping that relationship going. How important is it for you to maintain that relationship with these guys?
Oh, very. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about the Facebook live streams, is that it lets you, rather than just me go out and do a video saying I'm doing this, I'm busy with that, I'm busy next thing, see you there, and uploading it. By doing a live stream, people can interact with it. It engages people a bit more, and it lets me kind of say hello to the people that have come and taken the time to come and say hello to me, not just online but possibly after a gig or whatever. If I happen to remember that I'm going to be somewhere on a certain date and get it right, that's probably a bit of a fluke. But it's funny how sometimes somebody will ask a question, it just cues the information. Mm-hmm. So I might not be able. If somebody said to me, "What gigs have you got coming up?" I'll be like, "Oh, I can't remember." But if I see there's somebody in Green Bay, Wisconsin, come on, I know I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin in October the such and such. Mm-hmm. At Gasoline or at the Lyric Room or whatever, but then that specific person popping up will trigger something that somehow pulls something out the back of my head that's stored there for a rainy day.
Brilliant. Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure and a treat and an honour talking to you today, and thank you for introducing me to your home, your surroundings and your studio, and for all the help you've given me technologically as well. I'll catch you at a gig sometime soon. Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Devil's left hand reached across the sticks. I whipped his ass and told him, "You'll never win my soul."
Thank you. Neil Whiskey.